I'm Lance Yelvington for CyberCountry. The Bellamy Brothers, David and Howard, had been making great music for 40 years. Think about that. That's probably the soundtrack to the time we spent in school, everyday life, stuff like that. And iconic songs like Let Your Love Flow and Redneck Girls, they have a special place in our memories. In this CyberCountry Minute, Bellamy Brothers are going to talk to us about their new release called 40 Years. Cool thing about this is you've got 20 old songs that are on the release as well as 20 new songs. They're also going to talk to us about a couple of causes near and dear to their hearts, like Stars Behind the Stars, as well as the Susan Cohen Foundation.
This is our 40th anniversary in 2016, so we decided to do, it was kind of, we knew we had to do kind of a compilation of the hits for the 40th year, but we didn't want to just rehash, so we did a whole new album of 20 new songs, and then we did 20 hits, so to make it 40 songs for 40 years. Mm-hmm. So we think it turned out, it's kind of a little collector's item, and I think it turned out pretty well. Everybody seems happy because they've got all the hits there, but there's also new music, so I think it keeps it a little more relevant.
Now, what's the idea behind this? Because a lot of times people go in to put together a greatest hits album, it's just a matter of going through all the old stuff, but, you had to go through and pick out stuff that's really, iconic treasures to a lot of us that grew up listening to that stuff. You had to go through that, and then you had to come up with new stuff. What was it like going through, piecing through that stuff?
Well, it was, it was quite a trip, take a trip back in time doing that all over again, But we thought we would, it's also a way to, we've done a few projects with compilations of hits, before, so we wanted to do a little more than that, just the old hits. So we had the idea of, well, it's been 40 years, let's put 40 songs on here. So we did 40 songs, 40 years, 20 new ones and 20 old ones. And, and people were really wanting to hear. We had requests like, when are you guys going to come up with a new project? So we just decided to do the whole thing at one time and give them, if you didn't want to hear the new ones, well, you got the old ones and vice versa.
Now, how tough was it to come up with new material? Because I know you guys have a creative skill that is unlike anything.
Well,
you've been consistent.
We record constantly. We really do. Even when we're not doing a project, our studio's right in David's front yard, and we, if we have a song, we go in and record it. Our guitar player is our sound engineer, and so before we know it, we have a stockpile of songs, and we sort through them, and that way you don't get bogged down in a total project. It seems easier. I think you make a better selection in general of what you really like, and it's just the way we've kind of evolved into doing it now. And we just like to write and record, so that way when we croak, we've got a bunch down that people haven't heard.
Something to leave behind. That's nice. Now, and all the new stuff that you've got going on the album, what's your favorite? Or can you pick a favorite?
Oh, the new songs. Yeah, we really liked the new stuff a lot. It was really fun to make. It was not a job, this album. That's we do a couple of the songs live in our show now. We do Dying Breed, and which is really like a country song. People call everything country music, but that's really more like a real country song. And we do a song called Time Rocks On, which is almost like a old Rolling Stones kind of rock country song.
Yeah.
And so those were a lot of fun to do. Those two songs and we play them live. They go over really good. People seem to like those. They fit in with all of our other stuff really well too. So, but we like the whole album pretty well. We're pretty happy with the project. And it gives it's the album's almost like a souvenir. It's like if people come to the show and stuff, they want to take something home. It's a good thing because they've got all the hits and they've got a bunch of new songs.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one of the things that y'all do really well is write about your appreciation for everything related to country, as well as the appreciation for things like sisters, mothers, girlfriends, stuff like that, which leads me into your support for the Susan Cohen Foundation. Tell me about that.
We started the Susan G. Komen campaign basically because of a friend of ours who was diagnosed with breast cancer and went through the process of having surgery, chemotherapy, reconstruction, and all that, 3-4 year ordeal. And my wife had the idea to maybe, to call Susan G. Komen and ask them about doing a program, and they liked the idea. It was coming up on our 40th, and we decided that we would take Let Your Love Flow. They did a little campaign with a hashtag Let Your Love Flow. So we would take that and do a video on the first hit we had with the cancer survivors. So we got 50 of the women from Fort Worth, Texas that had survived cancer, and women from all ages, all backgrounds, and they were all affected by cancer. Did a video on it. It was really it's quite a touching video, and quite effective, I think. And so that's Coleman uses it in their program. We use it on our website and different places. But it was a really cool thing to do.
How do you hope that affects people that see that, men and women?
Well, I think it can raise awareness. It's such an epidemic. I think everybody now knows somebody who's affected by breast cancer. It's so huge.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new technology, new medicines coming out, and it looks like there's light at the end of the tunnel. That's another great time to be involved with it. Is that there's hope, I think, and definitely need to keep up the awareness and keep funding the cause, because I think they're gonna make it one of these days.
Yeah, they're very close too. Let me ask you another question too about Stars Behind the Stars, because that actually is a cool project that you all are involved in as well. What motivated you to do that?
Well,
we want some police around to
we
look out for us as they always have, and be respected, and this thing's just gone far enough. Too far, and it's just time. I wish there was more we could do. You look for things you can do. You feel totally helpless in a cause like this. But this opportunity occurred, and it was easy for us. We're going to play Billy Bob's the Friday night after this anyway. Yeah. So we're there. We were there. So
they called about the date, and I said, it's a no-brainer for us. We would jump on a plane 2 days early and be out there. And I think all the acts that are going, everybody jumped right on it because it was something they really care about.
Yeah, well, for those of us who have really good friends that are police officers, I thought that was one of the coolest things in the world.
Yeah, everybody knows. We have friends that are involved with police, and we've actually done police benefit and home for an officer that was killed in Tarpon Springs, Florida. And
it's happened everywhere.
It's just happened so many times.
Past several years.
This is just sort of the pinnacle of it. It's such a big, the thing that happened in Dallas was really, and then now Baton Rouge and a couple other places. So it's out of hand.
Yeah. Well, until people realize what's going on, that's crazy. Yeah. But that brings me back to something else. Country actually is family, and that's actually what y'all write about. And getting back to the greatest hits, 40 hit songs for 40 years, that's something that's cool. Was that actually what you guys were thinking about, was bringing it into family and making everything,
Well, our business has always been a family. Our mother ran our office for most of after we moved back from Los Angeles at the beginning of our career, moved back to the ranch, she ran our office for us, and has been involved in our business. Our father, we learned how to sing and play with our father and sing in church. We had a great family. We had a great upbringing, which is, I don't hear those stories many these days. People always more broken homes, and you realize the importance of it. We always have realized it, and it's our country. It's what our country should be like again. It's what's missing again. There's so many one family member raising a child these days, and that's one of the problems. And the balance is off of everything. Yeah. And that's kind of where we come from. We enjoyed family. I can even put up with him.
Well, I thought it was a cool thing that you all do. Just trying to bring it back to family. And I like the songs on 40 Years, 40 Hits. Let me ask you, if a person would really like a great reason to come out and see a show or buy the album, why would you want to? Should they buy the album and come out and see your show?
Because it's great.
Yeah, it's the best show around. Yeah, I think
you get a lot for your money. 40 songs.
I think people really enjoy coming to the show because they have a good time at our show. Our show's not. It's loose. It's very loose, and we play a lot of music. We try to play. We do an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes or something, and it's we play one hit after another, and I think people like that a lot. And they relate to it. I mean, when I go see an act and they play all the hits that I like, I enjoy it. And so we try to do that.
Yeah, at this point in our career, people can come to a show, and it's a walk down memory lane, and to a better time. We get that all the time from fans when things were a little better, and they come and they can kind of forget what's going on today and remember, when that song was a hit, they may have just had their first love or whatever. We get so many stories. People married to our songs,
And our songs are not. They came around a time that nothing was PC. They're still fun.
Before PC.
Before, things were screwed up.
Yeah.
And they're still fun, and people like that about them. And so I think a lot of people come out just because of stuff like that. They can be loose and have a good time at our show. Hello, I'm David.
I'm Howard.
We're the Bellamy Brothers.
Thanks for watching
CyberCountry.
You got it, David.
And visit our website, BellamyBrothers.com.